Hello, welcome back. Cool. Okay, let's get started. Hey, everyone. I'm not going to go through the announcements so much, just pretty much stuff to read. There's quite a lot been shared over the last week or so, but a few things to read. Thank you, Robert. I'm completely useless without Slack. So yeah, enjoy lots of Slack links. If there's anything that, well, with the engagement survey stuff, there'll be more stuff coming out over the next few weeks. So that's the full engineering department view. There will be an infrastructure view, and we'll also chat about it at a delivery team level as well. So that will come in the next few weeks. And then Marian's been busy writing us some things, so have a read through those. If there's anything missing, please add it in. If you've got any more links and things, then do that as well. Cool. So we enter the last month of this quarter. So that means we get to start thinking about OKRs. For this week, the main request is, if you haven't already, please put some thoughts down in the retro issue so that we can improve on the process for the next round of things. I think it'll be a little bit different anyway, just because we're not completely changing direction. So the last quarter was kind of like several fresh OKRs to start from. But still, it's really good to just have a think about what worked and what didn't work, so that we can improve on that stuff. And roughly what I'm thinking kind of the process will look like is Alessio's out for most of this week, so we won't make any actual decisions until he's back and had time to contribute as well. But there's also some stuff going on about strategy. So there's a little bit in there already, which I've linked. There'll be some more stuff coming into the handbook as well. But we want to make sure our team is fully aligned to like the department strategy and then up through the company. So that will be the kind of extra piece that we'll have to think about as well alongside OKRs. But for now, I think just have a think about things like, as much as possible, it's helpful not to have to start from zero. So if you have ideas you want to put together, then we can then sort of work out how they fit together from next week and the week after. Any questions on OKRs? No. Cool. So one thing I wanted to think about as we go into this new year is this meeting. So I was wondering, this can also be async if that's easier, but I'm curious to hear people's thoughts on like, what do you want to get from this meeting, and how can we make sure that happens? Would it be easier async? Yeah, okay, I'll open up a thing so we can actually think about that. So like, for example, from my side, one of the things which I think I've mentioned to all of you separately, but is around, as we go through this year, the sort of threads of our work start to come together a lot more. As we progress further into the Kubernetes migration, it will be sort of integral for all of our deployment work. So it'll be much more key that we kind of have a good understanding of what each other are working on, and we work together on sort of fewer goals, with more of us working on those things. So I'd like this meeting to be able to actually help us like do that and coordinate and kind of practice working out like what's the smallest iteration we can get to, and like how do we collaborate on those small iterations and things like that. But obviously keen that this meeting also serves purposes that you all have as well. So I'll open up an issue so we can talk about that stuff, but do have a think about like that, like it's everything's up for grabs. Like this meeting could be a different cadence, it could be a different length, it could be a different format. So let's see what we can make it really.
I just have one comment I was going to write, and I'll just say it. I think there's a bit of tension between the first half and the second half. when it's only 30 minutes, and that's something we should consider. Like, if we try to get more out of the meeting, I feel like we're probably going to run out of time to discuss what we did the last week without making it longer.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's really, I think, where the question of like, what do we want this meeting to cover? But yeah, absolutely. Like, if we've got 10 things we'd like to cover, we should schedule it so that we have time for 10 things. So yeah, great point. Cool. So Jav, over to you.
Sure. I just wanted to socialize the fact that we're going to be pausing deployments. Previously was planned for next week, though we did the Helm 3 upgrade in staging for GitLab Helm files today, and it went smoothly. I think we could probably start prod, but I don't want to start to like any auto deploy interruptions until the security release is complete. So can anyone answer this question? Is like, when do we think the security release will be done?
So it should be done this Thursday, and well, I think this can be done after.
Yeah, that sounds good. So maybe tentatively we could say like we try to do staging on Friday, and I'm actually even thinking about doing production on Sunday or something, and just shifting my schedule a bit so that we don't pause deployments on Monday, but we'll see how that goes.
How much time it will be paused for staging?
I think it's going to be no more. In fact, it may be less, but I think it's going to be no more than 2 hours. Maybe even only 1 hour. The GitLab release is actually much simpler than the Helm files release, which is what we did today, and that took about 4 hours. But I think like the staging and prod for GitLab is going to be much faster.
I mean, if that is the case, I think it can be done before Thursday. If it is only 2 hours, I don't have a problem by doing it before.
Yeah.
What do you think, Amy?
Yeah.
I suppose it's what's the worst case of how long it will be paused for.
Yeah. So I'm trying to manage risk here. The problem is that if something goes wrong, we kind of have to fix it before we can do a deploy. There's no easy rollback once the wheels are set in motion for the upgrade, because Helm keeps state. And there's like you have to migrate the state from the Helm 2 side to the Helm 3 side. And then you can't deploy on Helm 2 until you completely move over. So to manage risk, and given that like it isn't super urgent, like there's nothing that this is blocking right now. So I would say like, might as well wait.
Okay.
So how about on Friday then, we put out a deployment, like morning deployment, and then we can pause, because actually we have quite a big gap between our first and second deployments of the day. And if the second one was delayed, then, you know, it's still quite like it's still in your morning, right? Like, so I think we've got quite a long window in the middle.
Okay.
That we could use.
Sounds good.
And on the Sunday, like I completely fine again for us to do that on Monday and just, you know, delay the second deployment of the day, like the afternoon one, if it's safer to do this on a Monday when we have everybody around.
Yeah. I think what we'll do is let's make the call after we do staging on Friday, if we do it, because we'll know like, okay, maybe it only took 20 minutes and, you know, then won't be any problem. But yeah, well, I guess we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Cool. Okay. Sounds like a plan. Great.
Next is Myra.
Yep. Thanks. So GitLab shell already changed their default branch from master to be main, and they are handling 2 branches at the same time. So I think manually a maintainer, when someone pushes to main, the maintainer also pushes to master. And I just want to know, since we don't really handle patches nor security releases for GitLab shell, how is GitLab shell incorporated in our deployments? Do we handle some part? Do we need to do something to when they remove master or don't?
So I think, at least from the top of my head, I'd have to look. It is completely detached, as in when we package Omnibus and Helm, we do read the GitLab shell version file from the GitLab repository. But as far as I know, we don't have any code that actually updates that. I think that's a manual process even. And I think part of it, because GitLab shell releases like, once a decade or so. But I'm not sure if there's any sort of hidden code in release tools where we do something with GitLab shell and we expect the master branch to exist. I don't think so, but not sure either.
I don't think so either, and I don't think Omnibus has any special logic. I mean, they're just basically looking for a ref for the shell version in the GitLab Rails code base.
So if they were to delete the master branch today, we wouldn't need to do anything else from our side in the release tools.
No, I think it always comes from a tag. Yeah, I can't imagine where we're deploying GitLab shell master.
Okay, well, either way, I'm going to
Hopefully
open an
helpful.
issue.
Maybe we are doing something that's stupid.
Yeah,
So,
maybe we could, is there some kind of protection? We could, like, it's already a protected branch, but maybe we can say like no one can do anything on it, and then that would help us test to see if we had any dependencies.
I did a quick check, at least for Helm. We read everything from the EU repository. I think Omnibus is the same. So I think removing master should be fine for release tools, but
Could we get them to, so they're pushing to both main and master right now. Could we get them to just push one thing to main and do the test and check we pick it up?
yep, I'm going to open an issue to wrap this up. Thanks, everyone.
Cool, nice. Cool. So yeah, so that I wanted to sort of make sure everyone was aware of kind of some things going on. So obviously Helm 3 upgrade is going on, and renaming master is also going on. On that one, we are pushing on as much as we can to do the deployment tooling changes so that we don't need to worry about what things are called. So if you can help on any of that work, either picking up the issues that Myra's got or reviewing or things like that, then please do help. Is there anything else on that you wanted to mention, Myra?
Nope. So we have some issues that I am linked the epic in some moments, but basically we just need to rename or to remove the hard-coded master reference from our tooling and to use now the project default branch. And after that, we should do a test to ensure that our patches, our security releases and monthly releases and deployments are still working, like some sort of dry run. And that's it. But yeah, just let me link the epic.
Cool. And Robert, do you want to mention coordinated pipeline?
Yeah, just picking up that work again. The next part is waiting for the Omnibus tag to be available. From what I remember, it was just fighting with CI YAML configuration. So I'll pick that back up.
Cool. And to go back, is there anything on the DR side that we need to work out this week?
I think you're muted still, Scarbeck. And now we can't hear you.
But you are unmuted.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
No, nothing from DR as far as I know at this moment in time.
Cool. Okay. Even on like the planning side, is there any, if anyone need any help, or not just actually Scarbeck, does anyone need any help on finding solutions to problems that will be coming up in the next week or two? No. Cool. Okay. Great. Great. Cool. So, are there any other discussion points?